Welcome to Fob's HQ, and today we're gonna go down memory lane and talk about some gaming nostalgia. It seems to be a trend on TikTok. Every other scroll that I make, I'm getting suggestions for all the previous games that were available. I remember half of them and half of them I don't, and I figured I'd just make a YouTube video about some of the games that I used to play quite some time ago. I made a list of about 11 games. I didn't want to do this big list because then I'm trying to keep videos under like 5 hours. So the first one that we have is, obviously everybody knows this game, is GoldenEye. This game came out in 1997 for the Nintendo 64, and I don't remember playing this in 1997. I was too poor to afford a Nintendo 64, so I don't think I played it. I probably played it a couple of years later. For it being 1996, I mean, the graphics aren't that bad. The gameplay was actually pretty good. And the fact that you could play with multiple players, not just one player, you can have up to like 4 different players, was pretty incredible for it. I don't know who did the soundtrack, but good choices on the soundtrack. Nowadays, when I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5 or any other game, the soundtrack, I gotta turn down the music volume in the game. Because whoever was picking the music for the game decided to pick like the most annoying music out there. I don't remember some of these colors. I do remember the black one, the blue one, which isn't, apparently they had an ice one. I don't remember that one either. I remember the smoke one, the fire gold never saw the grape one, never saw the jungle one, or the watermelon. I just saw the black, the blue one. The Nintendo 64 controller is very memorable, but it's kind of awkward to hold, but I guess it served a purpose for other games where you can just grab the last two instead of grabbing the 2 ends. But it's pretty interesting to see all the colors that it came with. They don't do that nowadays. Nowadays it's just cheaper to choose 1 or 2 colors and call it good. Definitely a lot of memories with 007. The next game was in 1998, Spyro the Dragon. It came out on PlayStation. I don't think I actually bought this game. I think maybe they were doing like a package deal, kind of how they do now. Pretty interesting gameplay. I imagine that the story was pretty good. I don't remember much about it. This was probably the first and the last time that I played the game. I don't think I played this game in 1998. I would have been about 4 years old. I probably played it a couple years after that. I never had this PlayStation console. I did have the PS1. I don't know if this is legit or not, but I do remember having a DVD player that looked just like this. Looks like they had some different colors for the PlayStation as well. Very overseas looking colors for sure. I think we all remember those memory cards that were day savers. I remember when we bought this game because we actually bought it, and then I think my parents were in a hurry and we ended up leaving Walmart, and the Walmart where we were at was like 30 minutes away, going and coming. So to go to Walmart, it was like an hour. And we forgot the PlayStation at Walmart. We had to go drive back, and when we went to go pick it up, we had to show the receipt and everything. It was this whole thing. But definitely worth it to turn around and go back to Walmart. In the same year, they had the South Park game come out in 1994. I really wish they would make more games like this now. For whatever reason, I remember playing this game that was multiplayer, but when I looked this up, apparently this version of the game isn't multiplayer. This game was just fun overall. Like, you would throw these puppets and they would explode and they could kill your opponent. But also they had like this shooting gun. I'll see if I can find it right now, but you would shoot the gun and it wouldn't shoot bullets, it would shoot chickens. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The entire game was pretty creative. I think they should definitely come out with like a newer version. Oh, so here's the gun. Apparently your ammo is eggs. I don't know if it's shooting chickens or if it's shooting eggs. It's shooting something having to do with the chicken. Everything was sort of unique. The animation was actually pretty cool. They had this machine gun that you could crank, and it shoots what I think were like Nerf gun bullets. Anyways, it was a pretty fun game, and if South Park came out with another one of these games, I would definitely buy it. This is what the cartridge looked like. You had to give it a little blow for it to come on. Another game that came out on the PlayStation that I played back in 1999, apparently, is when it came out. I probably played it a couple of years later, was Wu-Tang's Shaolin Style. I never bought this game. This is one of those games that one of my friends who lived down the road from me let me borrow. And I had it for a while. He had to ask me to give it back to him, and I didn't want to give it back to him, but I didn't tell him that. I just kept it for a little bit longer. Eventually I gave it back to him. But the reason why I remember this game was because I remember that the graphics were really good. The only thing that I remember about the graphics were the graphics when this guy is swinging his sword around, because it was different from anything that I had seen at the time. And also the music was pretty good. Nowadays, this is crappy graphics, but I mean, the way that guy is like swinging back and forth, I think it was like the after image of the swords and the kicks was pretty interesting. Different for 1999. It's very Matrix-like. Yeah, it's like a early on version of Mortal Kombat. Oh. Ooh, that's graphic. This is what the cover looked like. I don't know how many people bought this game, but I actually had to use ChatGPT and I had to describe it like multiple times and it eventually found it. I'd been looking at it for many years just to see some gameplay online. This next one is Army Men. It came out in 2000, but I know that there were other versions that had came out before it. And I only remember it because it's the one that came out in PlayStation. At the time, there was a renter at our house and he had actually been to war and he thought the game was pretty cool. So he played it more than I did and I just let him use the PlayStation because it was pretty interesting. Because he could pass some of the levels and I just couldn't. I was a kid at the time, so... Sheep, Dog, and Wolf I played on PC, and it was a desktop computer, and I don't know if it came pre-installed or how it got onto that computer, but I don't remember paying for the game. I do remember playing it, and I remember like not being able to pass one level and just giving up on it. Pretty good flash animation there. Yeah, I probably got stuck here and just gave up on it. This next one is Twisted Metal Black. I think a lot of us recognize this game. Not much of an introduction. Just crashing cars all the time. Graphics super amazing for the time. I must have played an earlier version of Twisted Metal Black because I never actually owned this PlayStation 2. This next one was the reason why my controller stopped working, and it's because I was just banging on the controllers. Not because I was losing or anything, but because I think that was one of the things that you had to do in order to beat another person. These Def Jam fighting video games were more hip-hop based, and they had a bunch of hip-hop characters in this game. They were doing something differently. I wonder how much royalty and money some of these hip-hop artists got for being in this game. You had like Redman, Method Man, Snoop Dogg was like one of the main characters. D-Mob, that's probably like Suge Knight in real life or something. Sean Paul, what does Sean Paul know about fighting? Ludacris, Exhibit, Lil Flip, Slick Rick. The thing that I really liked about this game is all the special moves that they had. I think they called it Blazing Mode or Special. But if you're too young to know, this is what the GameCube looked like. I saw the black one in person. I owned the purple one. And I don't know if these are legit. I think they might be. But I never got to see any of these colors. Those are pretty cool, interesting colors. The CDs for these were actually really cute because they were really small, and it was pretty interesting to see how much information fit into those little CDs. Yeah, you can see how small they were. Sad day when you find out your game is all scratched up. You gotta admit, that's pretty impressive for something that's supposed to be in there or stay in the case. Somehow always ended up being scratched to the extent that you couldn't even play the game at all. I was looking at this video and I love YouTube's scroll indicator that lets you know what parts of the video people are watching the most. And I guess DMX's special, or they call it All Blazing Moves, is one of the top viewed. And I can see why, because it's just really interesting. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. Yeah, they're not making video games like that anymore, at least not those special blazing moves. I really do wish Def Jam would make another one of these games, because I would definitely buy it. You are paid to wrestle. He's a beast. Let him know who runs this. Stop acting like... The next game is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, and this game actually pissed me off the first time I bought it. I bought it for the GameCube, and the reason why it pissed me off is because it had this map. So imagine I'm like this young kid that just bought this game, and the very first thing that I encounter is this map, and I just want to get straight to the fighting, and I couldn't get out of this map. I swear, I spent like 30 minutes trying to figure out how to actually start getting into the fights, and for a minute there, I thought, did I just spend like it was a lot of money for me at the time, and this came out of my own pocket, so it was kind of frustrating. That's why my controller got messed up, because I kept messing around with the joystick. So the next one on the list is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but everybody knows that game. Favorite thing about that game was all the cheat codes you can use. My favorite thing to do on that one was put NOS on all cars and then make flying cars and just hit another car and watch it fly away. Nobody that I knew along with myself could find out how to actually stop correctly, so we just crash landed all the time. This game here, the story for it was amazing. If they made another one, I would buy it. And I don't know if they've made any game where you're actually a police officer or a detective and you're trying to solve crime in your own way. And this game came with like a really good soundtrack. I think Redman was a part of the soundtrack. There was like multiple Redman and Method Man songs on this game. Looks like this game came out in 2005 and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out in 2004. So I think Grand Theft Auto just overshined this game and probably one of the reasons why they don't make it anymore. But if they came out with a new one, I would definitely buy it. There's things in this game that you can't even do in Grand Theft Auto. Like you could search people.
We're taking it down, piece of shit. Stings don't kick the shit.
The more that you hurt people, the more they're likely to confess.
What's up now?
And if you obviously beat them up too much, you can kill them and then render them useless.
Loyalty is overrated. How you like this?
See, I don't think Grand Theft Auto had moves like that.
For the greater good.
True Crime New York City had a lot in common with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I think at the very end, if you haven't played those games, you're probably not going to play them anymore unless you're using an emulator or actually have the console. But they have in common the betrayal of like one of the main characters there, one of your best friends, and I thought that was pretty cool.
It was you. You were the mole. So you framed Navarro and faked your own death.
Yeah, they don't make games like this anymore. Doing this video kind of makes me want to download emulators and play these games again because they were so awesome. I completely get the gaming nostalgia behind all the TikTok videos that we're seeing. Anyways, that's it for this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. If you remember a game or you thought a game was really awesome, leave it in the comments. I'll probably check it out. Some of the games that are coming out right now are trash. In fact, games that are being made by like 1 or 2 developers are far better than most AAA games nowadays. Like, for example, Schedule 1 was really good.